Good afternoon, friends. This is Terry from the Frugal Connection. Welcome to my kitchen. Food prices are going up. I'm trying to find ways to cut costs as much as possible. Now, one of the things that I eat on my plant-based whole food diet is some whole grain rye wasa crackers. So today what we're going to make is some rye seeded crackers with just a few simple ingredients. And I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you the ingredients we're working with. These come together in just a couple of minutes. They're super easy to make, and I want to invite you along with me while I make them. All right, here are the ingredients we're working with. I have 1 cup of rye flour, a ½ teaspoon of salt, a ¼ teaspoon of baking powder, and then on this plate I have a ¼ cup of pumpkin seeds, and these are all raw seeds. A ¼ cup of pumpkin seeds, a ¼ cup of sunflower seeds. I have 2 tablespoons of flax seed. I have a ¼ cup of rolled oats, and I have some water. All right, my oven is preheating to 400 degrees, and these are super easy to make. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my mixing bowl, and the first thing I'm gonna do is put in my rye flour into this bowl. And I'm also gonna add to this my ½ teaspoon of salt, my ¼ teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. Now, the rest of the ingredients are going to just go right in here. These are all my seeds, my oats, and I'm going to give this a mix. Now what I'm going to do is I have a ½ cup of water. I'm going to start by just adding in most of this, but I'm going to leave back about about 3 tablespoons of water just to make sure. Now my oven just went off. I have it preheated for 400 degrees. All right, now, all right, so I'm going to give this a good mix. Now, I love coming up with recipes. I love this way of eating, and I love taking some of the things that I used to love to eat and seeing how I can tweak them and turn them into something that's still, gives me some enjoyment, but I'm not eating all those things that kept me very overweight. I started eating plant-based whole foods in July of 2023, and in the course of a little less than 1 year, I've lost 73 pounds. And so, I want to obviously continue to eat this way. It is a healthier way to eat. And I think now I am going to add the rest of this water in. I might need to add actually a little bit more. All right, let me see if this is coming together. Okay. Just going to get my hands in there and get them dirty. All right, so I'm going to form this into a ball. So what I put in there was a ½ cup of water, and I think I added 1 tablespoon more. So basically you're going to just, play with it. You want it to get into a ball shape. So if it's too dry, you just need to add more water to it. All right, so let me wash my hands and we'll move on to the next step. All right, friends, the next step is I have 2 large pieces of parchment paper here, and I'm just going to take my dough ball and I'm going to put it in the middle, set this to the side, and I'm going to put the other piece of parchment paper right on top, and I'm going to flatten this down. And now what I'm going to do is I want to roll this out until it's nice and flat. Now, if you've had wasa crackers, they're very crispy and light and airy. And so I don't want these really super thick. I want these to be very thin. I'm going to just keep rolling this out until I get it to, I don't know, I'd say maybe 1/8 of an inch thick. Now my biggest problem with crackers is I always think I've rolled them thin enough and I really never do. So I'm going to try my best today. If it starts to come off out the edges of your parchment paper, then you just cut it off, find a spot to put it back in there, because you don't want it to come out or it's going to be very hard to cut it. Or it's going to stick to your countertop, I should say. Let's turn this over. Whoops. Starting to... Now if it sticks a little bit, you just got to play with it. That's all. All right, so I'm going to continue to roll these out. They're almost done. Now again, I used raw pumpkin seeds. I used raw sunflower seeds. I did not use roasted, or salted ones. They were just raw, because the problem is if you buy seeds that are already roasted or have salt in them, if they have salt in them, they're generally roasted with some sort of oil. So I'm trying to avoid the oils. And I did not use any oil in this recipe. I just pulled this out, the oil container I have, just in case it didn't seem to be doing right. But it seems to be okay. Okay, now what I'm going to do is set this to the side. All right, so now this is pretty much stuck to this paper just because, like I said, I didn't use any extra flour or anything. Now I'm taking I just have a pizza cutter, and I'm just going to cut these in largish size crackers. All right, mine are not uniform. They're not going to be pretty, but they do the trick. It's my first time making them, so they're not going to be the most beautiful the first time around. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift up this parchment paper, stick it on the tray like this. I'm not going to fiddle with it anymore because the more I fiddle with it, the worse it's going to get. I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 20 minutes and I will meet you back here when they're done. You want the edges nice, just starting, not burning. They're just going to start to get light and crispy, and that's what we're looking for. So I will meet you back here when they're done and we will give them a taste test. These have been in the oven for 13 minutes, and what I decided to do is I decided to flip them, because I really want them to cook evenly on both sides so they're nice and crispy. And I thought the best way for that to happen was to just turn them over. And they're cooked enough at this point that they're no longer sticking together too much. But I'm going to keep turning these over. I'm going to put them in the oven, let them finish baking, and then I will meet you back here to test them out. Welcome back. I just pulled them out of the oven a little bit ago. You let them sit on the tray for probably another minute or two after you pull them out. I ended up leaving them in for about 25 minutes. But again, you're just going to keep checking on them because every oven is a little bit different. They smell so, so good. And I just want to show you these. They're still pretty hot, so I'm not going to be able to hold it long, but just listen to the crack. And I'm going to give it a taste test now. Very, very good. Oh my goodness. They are crunchy, which is kind of the texture that I crave at times, is that crunchy stuff. But obviously I don't want to eat just regular processed crackers. I don't want to eat chips for sure. These have no oil in them. I did not need the oil at all. They came out perfectly. They got a little tiny hint of salt from the half a teaspoon of salt I put in there. But if you don't want salt, just leave it out. You know what I think would be great in these is just a little bit of garlic powder, some other maybe different spices like some chili powder if you wanted to change the flavor profile, but these are great. And so I'm very thankful that I tried this. And again, it was just a few simple ingredients I had around. They don't have all the extra fillers or extra preservatives in them. And what you're going to do with them is you're going to store them in an airtight container, and you can just put them in your cupboard, and they should last probably for, I would say you could leave them in there for about a week and they would be fine because they don't have any fat in them. There's nothing in there that would spoil. They're just, it's just rye flour with the seeds and the seeds and the oats that I put in there. So this will go great with my dinner tonight. The other day I made a tomato bean soup that is creamy and it's delicious, but these crackers will be a nice addition to that. So I hope you will try this recipe. I will type up the recipe. I will put it on my website, thefrugalconnection.com. I will put the link to the recipe down below in the description box, which you can find right below this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends. My main point in doing this is to kind of intersect our desire to live a healthy lifestyle with being frugal as well, because a lot of the resistance I hear from people is that it costs too much to eat this way, or it's too difficult to eat this way. And the goal of my channel here is to show that you can eat a healthy, plant-based, whole food diet. It doesn't have to break the bank, and yet it's very, very easy to make a lot of these recipes. Wherever you are, have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.